Welcome everybody to another episode of Deisi Del Toro No Filter Show. Thank you guys for watching. I love the fact that all of you guys are tuned in. Well, I have a special guest, and this special guest is super special to me because he's a producer. I'm a producer. We're just different types of producers. I'm gonna let Q Jones himself tell you what it is that Q Jones does.
Well, of course, Q Jones, aka the real Q Jones, aka Prince Gato, Black Cat of the Night, producer, engineer, artist, currently hailing out of Orlando, Florida. Been doing my thing for, see, at this point now, almost 17 years. So that is who I am, and that's who I will be.
He's been doing, and okay, we're gonna start off with getting to the bottom of Q Jones. This is an investigative moment where we find out exactly who this man is. So we're gonna start off with where are you from, besides Florida?
Well, I was born in Colorado, moved to Indianapolis, moved back to Colorado, then moved to Florida for my 10th birthday, and then my whole life been back and forth between Atlanta and Florida. So I'd say that's where a lot of my influences come from.
Colorado, that's your big influence, huh?
No, definitely not. Just my birthplace, just my
Okay.
birthplace. I rep Florida and just a hint of Atlanta, Georgia, but that's it.
Nice. Okay. So you were born and raised in Colorado. Culturally, what is your background of culture? Like, who are your parents? Where are they from?
Yeah, so my dad is black and my mom's white. But my dad, he was born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, and he was in the military. And now he's, how can I explain this? Basically, like a stylist, I would say. He has clients and high-profile clients that come to him and they buy clothes from him. He has exclusive pieces and high designer pieces, Valentino, your Yves Saint Laurent's, your Balenciagas, stuff like that. And as far as my mother goes, she was born and raised in Indianapolis, Indiana. And not too much to say about my mom. She was just a good mom. I spent most of my time with her, so I would say that was her best job was being a good influence and raising me.
I have met your mother, so I can agree
Yeah.
with you. And I met you, which is the product of this mother putting in all this effort.
Hey,
And she did an amazing job. Now I'm gonna go deeper because we've actually worked together before, so that's why
absolutely.
I wanted to bring you in. You know, we're two different types of producers, yet we both produce. You produce music, I produce film. You worked with me on a film, which we'll discuss a little bit more because we just won a Telly Award, which is a huge deal.
Big round of applause.
Yes, it is. And I am so excited to share the movie with everyone. We are currently deciding on the exact distribution and date of the premiere. Once we do the premiere, you're going to be there, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hands down.
Because you worked so hard on that project
Oh,
as a
yeah.
producer,
Oh,
producing
yeah.
music.
For
Talk
sure.
about that.
Well, where do we start? I'll keep it simple. I want to thank you, first of all, because you put a lot of trust in me. I was never micromanaged at any point, and I don't work well under micromanagement because I'd be like, hey, F off. I know what I'm doing. And so thank you for that. But yeah, you brought me in to work on the movie, I would say about 10% in. And, you were kind of having issues with the initial setup. And when I was brought in, I was kind of told, given the direction by you, of course, that, hey, let's get this thing in line. We got this deadline that we got to meet, and the ball's in your court now. And that's how I work best. It's to me, it's not pressure. That's kind of like motivation. It's gas in my tank.
I feel like I gave you freedom. I said,
For sure.
you know what? Because as an artist, you need freedom to express, right? And I thought, how cool that you're so into it that you took on the challenge because it's not a simple challenge, and
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
it. It was a great opportunity for me to get to know your work and your work ethic, which goes a long way.
Absolutely.
And then, so that's what I know about that part of you. Now, I've been starting to watch you on TikTok. What's going on?
Oh my
Talk to
gosh.
me about what's happening with you and your TikTok.
Well, so my TikTok journey, so to speak, started in 2019. And at first, it was just posting up clips of my music and letting the general public know, okay, I got this song coming out, or I'm working with X artists, behind the scenes footage. And there was zero motion. There was zero growth, or very minimal growth, I should say, And so this whole entire time between 2019 and present day, I was just trying different things. I tried skits. I tried, motivational stuff, the the cliche, got the words on the screen, point at the camera,
Oh, I
point
see.
up.
I see.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's
Kind of
all
stuff.
part of the process.
Right,
Okay.
right. So just trying to find my voice, so to speak. And so I'm just trying different stuff, experimenting, and I just kind of threw something out there. I kind of just thought something would be funny. This will be an exclusive. You're the first to hear this ever. And if a lot of people see this, then my spot will be blown up because a lot of people think that what I got going on is real, so to speak. But basically, they were going to ban TikTok, and our Congress members were super scared of China. Oh my gosh, China has they have all of our information. They can spy on us, right? We have to get rid of this app because they're brainwashing our children. I thought to myself, wouldn't it be funny if somebody actually was brainwashed by China, like kind of into this propaganda mindset
Right.
to be like, China's superior, down with America, maybe not that extreme, but I just thought it would be funny to kind of showcase, especially somebody who looks like me. You would never expect me to be like, man, China's superior. Like, we love the CCP. We love we love strong leadership of
I
China.
started watching it because I was like, Q Jones is a music producer. What's going on here, right?
Yeah.
But that's why I was like, we have to find out what's happening with this TikTok.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm glad to see success. It's actually
For sure,
going really well for you.
And
People,
it's
we're
worked
gonna
out.
put your link on the TikTok so
Thank you,
people
thank
can
you.
find you because I thought it was really cool. I'm an extremist myself. I
Yes,
would
of
say,
course, of
right?
course.
I like to take chances on different stuff, and then I saw your stuff, and I'm like, this guy is good. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I think that once I saw that the first video that I posted up, kind of in this character that I adapted, when I saw that just take off immediately, I'm almost at 600,000 views now. We're almost at 100K likes on that first video. So once I seen that video take off, I was like, okay, we're off to the races now. I already have stuff back catalog that I'm like, all right, I can just plug this in as at the end of the videos and start driving people to my music, because that's ultimately the goal. I wanted to be able to use that platform to entertain primarily, and I think a lot of people do get it, but like I said, I do have a lot of people that are still in the dark about the satirical nature of the content. But once they see the music, I've had people reach out to me and be like, wow, like, I came in very skeptical because I'm not sure what to think about this content, but then after listening to your discography, I'm very impressed. And that's so good. It feels so good, that things are finally going in this like rapid forward motion. You know what I
I
mean?
love it. I think it's excellent. I love your music also, but as an entertainer, entertaining is in you. You know what I'm saying? Like
Little bit.
it's part of who we are as a creative
Absolutely.
nation, I call it. But to be creative, you kind of have to try a whole bunch of different things. Even
For
me, I
sure.
have my no filter show. It's just part of my creative exposure, I guess, of what I think and what people think, and just the people who don't know you on my platform, they'll get to know who's Q Jones.
For sure.
So is it
Absolutely.
like similar, although you're doing it to China?
Yeah. Yeah.
What else do you talk about on your TikTok?
Well, I like to slip in kind of my real political views too. I'm the type of person that I stay away from politics and religion. Those are the two like biggest things that I don't necessarily want to disclose, like, my 100% thoughts, because, they could be opposing to somebody else. And I'm opening and I'm very open minded. I don't want something to turn somebody off before they get to know me. So that's why I stay away from those topics. But I like to say stuff that makes people think. You know what I'm saying? Under the guise of, like I said, satire and humor, I do create a lot of discussions when it comes to my comment section. And then also, I may just be having something on my mind that I can just plug in there. Like, for example, the other day, I spoke on the prices of barbers lately. You know, because as you see, you know,
What is going?
I got the jungle
I
cut.
was gonna ask
Yeah.
what is going on with this hair?
Well, I'll do a recap basically of my most recent video. I said, you know, before the lockdown, it seemed like a good $35, $40 get the whole job done. Eyebrows, facial hair, get that nice fade. And as of recently, in the past 6 months, I've been going to different barbers and trying them, and it seems like $75, $80 is where we're at. And granted, you know, I could add that as a bill, but you know, right now I'm like, man, it seems like an unnecessary expense every other week to be spending $80 on damn haircut. You know, it's just vanity. And I think my whole entire life I've been somewhat a decent looking guy, so I think I can lose a few points in
Don't be
the.
too nice
Hey,
about it. You know you're a good looking guy. Come
yeah,
on.
yeah. So I think that it's not gonna take away that much from my looks, you know, as of right now.
It doesn't. I just thought it was different because I've
Yeah.
seen you in all kinds of shapes and forms of the hair.
You remember I had pink hair at
That's
one
where you
point.
had
Yeah.
pink hair.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I've seen your shades of color changing. I like it. It's kind of cool. You know, I have kids that have curly hair.
Yeah.
So I love it. Like I've let it grow out. They have like
Yeah.
huge muppet.
I think, well, here's the thing. I think if you come from an ethnic background, you know, as us, I think it's important to kind of, from the outside, kind of showcase that a little bit. You know, back in the 70s, that was a big thing. That's why the afros were so big. It's like, you know, show your Afrocentric roots. You know what I mean? And I think that in today, we're kind of getting away from that. I think people are becoming monolithic. And this is just a generalized statement. Obviously, there's thousands
This
of
is a
people.
no filter show. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Just say whatever.
I just put the disclaimer out because you know I think that majority of people that I tend to meet are not monolithic. But if you look at kind of like an overview, it seems like everybody's becoming kind of all the same. You know, you see a lot of the ladies. You know, everybody looks like Kim Kardashian now. You know, it's
Not
become kind of
everybody, man.
not everybody,
I was about
but
to say, man, because my booty ain't that cute. Like, I still want my Kim Kardashian booty, but I
hey,
keep gaining weight because I drink a lot.
look, you're the first Daisy Del Toro, so that's all that matters. You know what I mean?
That's right. I may
Straight
not
up.
be Kim Kardashian, but I got a back.
There you go. There you go. But yeah, basically to wrap up my little tangent here is just yeah, I think that uh, looking for a unique look, I think is very important, and I think it's becoming a lost art. And I think with ethnic background, it should be proud to show off your Afrocentric heritage. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. 100%. I mean, you know, I completely agree with that. Each
Yeah.
person has to find their individual. I don't want to call it character. It sounds horrible.
I mean, you could say that.
You can, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I think as a human being, and you can go through stages too.
for sure.
If you watch any of the superstars, what happens? They continue to evolve. And even though they change their look some, they still evolve into a different looking character. But they have to create that. Like it's a colorful thing, it's a hair thing, it's whatever you like to do. Like I used to not have long lashes, but after seeing like 10,000 butterflies, I said, I need lashes too.
Yes, you
But
did. Turned it up.
it's part of, or even the long hair.
Yeah.
Like I got tired of having short hair so long, so I too have been trying different looks and everything else. Now I'm gonna go back, not just the TikTok and you being in the movie and producing the music and all of that. I want to know more about what you've been up to. Like I don't know what you've been up to. I see you got new tattoos too. I've been
For
talking
sure.
about tattoos, so now I'm interested. But let's start with what you've been up to.
Well, I think the better question would be what haven't I been up to? You know what I mean? But you know, aside from the content creation, the production is still going strong. Still having clients hit me up for mix and master work. Staying very strict in the gym, very strict to a diet. As you've seen, I brought in a gallon of water with me, so you know, trying to really perfect every area of myself. You know, I want to be the best. I want to present myself what I think that I'm worth. You know what I mean? And I think for me to be strong in all these areas as far as health and fitness goes, I want to continue getting smarter. I want to continue getting sharper when it comes to making music. I want to dress better. I want to do all these things because eventually I want people to look and be like, hey man, I like this guy. Like I want to be like this guy, or I want to at least model myself after some of his values. I think role model is kind of like the antiquated term. I think influencer is kind of the overrated term. I think I just want to be a symbol or a beacon of what people have the ability to do. You know what I mean?
I love that. You said it very well.
Yeah,
And that's, I mean, but to become that, it takes discipline, just like you having
yeah,
to drink water,
yeah.
perfecting. You call the word perfecting, which, I call it building.
Hey,
But I like it. I
yeah,
think you are absolutely, like, I've known you for a couple years now, and I think I've also seen that progress constant.
for sure.
That's why I asked, like, what you've been up to, because I can already see it even on your social media and everything else. Like, you're venturing outside of the norm.
Yeah,
Because when I
yeah,
met you, you were still just mostly doing the music and producing and helping everybody else.
yeah.
But I'm happy you're finally helping yourself. I like that.
Yes,
I
thank
like
you. Thank
that.
you. Yeah, the thing about that is, it's cool to be known in your city, and I think you know that to a certain extent. I'm known
You
in the
are,
city,
yes.
not as much as you, of course. I mean, you're the Miss Socialite, but I
In
think,
different realms.
yeah, yeah, but all the more. I mean, it's impressive. But I think it's cool to be known in your city. But I think in order to reach the level of success that I've been striving for my whole entire life, I need to be known in every city. I need to be known worldwide
Worldwide,
eventually.
that's right.
Yeah.
But to get to worldwide, all of these steps are part of the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
And
Very
a lot of
necessary.
people think you can skip the steps. You cannot skip the steps. You have to learn
We've
from each
encountered those
one.
people, huh?
You have to go through each one,
Yeah.
and you have to step on it, learn from it, and move on to the next step. And I
Absolutely.
love that you're actually doing that, because that was the main point I think I was always trying to create or understanding with people that I worked with. Like, nobody's born that talented. Okay, maybe Muhammad Ali. No, I'm kidding. But you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a process. It's like you're building yourself to become what you envision yourself. So, talking about that, when you were a kid, what did you want to be?
Man.
Do
I
you even
had,
remember?
yeah, I had a couple. I think at first when I was very, very young, I wanted to be a track and field star, and I really didn't know what
Ah,
that meant, but I was like, I love running, and I'm saying this is probably like 5 years old. I'm like, I love running and I love being active, so I want to be a track and field star. I look at like the Olympics and stuff. Um, of course, later on in my life, I would understand that those people don't make that much money. You know what I
and
mean? But
suddenly you're like, oh man.
they do it almost strictly for the love. But then later on in my life, for a long period, I wanted to be a professional wrestler, work for the WWE. Of course, I got this WWE T-shirt on. I'm still a fan to this day. But yeah, I think that was something that from probably the ages of like 8, I would say 7 to 10. That was like a huge thing that I was like, yeah, I want to do that. Once again, reality was put in my face of like how hard and intensive that job can be, and the travel and how crazy that is. So that kind of was something I was like, ah. Then from there, I went to professional skateboarder, and so from about 10 to 13, I was really, really heavy. Wanted to be a professional skateboarder. I had a short stint where I was like, "Hey, man, maybe basketball could work out." I played for my middle school basketball team, so but I sucked. So, so
Hey,
I
you
kind of,
said it, not me.
hey, I'm just being
I've never
real.
seen you play
I,
basketball. What
I
do
was
I know?
much I was much better at skateboarding than I was at basketball. So I think that was something I was more so like, oh man, maybe I could
I
do
can see
this.
you as a skateboarding.
Yeah, yeah,
I can see
for
that.
sure, for sure. And I took it really
Because,
serious.
right, you're like very active. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I can see that.
What happened with that is like at the age of 13, I jumped down a 12 staircase, and I landed really, really hard and really bad, and I hurt myself, and I kind of was like, all right, man, because it only goes up from there, right? Let's say that I did land that trick, right? Then it would require me to at some point do 15. Then it would require me at some point maybe do 20. then so it only gets more dangerous. And it's like I kind of had to have like a come to Jesus moment of like, hey man, is this something that I really want to take on, having to deal with injuries and possibly even like paralyzing myself. And the kind of the reality hit me in my face after that really bad accident that happened. So I kind of was like, all right. So around that time, around 12, 13, that's when I started slowly producing. I had inspirations from Pharrell, Timberland, Kanye West. Let's see, I really liked Swiss Beats, these kind of people, right? Sean Paul, really into Sean Paul. So I was like, all right, maybe I could do this. Started teaching myself how to produce. At this time, I was also in piano class as well. Mom put me in piano class after school. So that kind of just started going hand in hand. So about the time I'm moving out of, all right, skateboarding's not something I could do forever, right? It kind of just eased me into music full time. And from that point forward, man, it just was.
Well, I'm glad you did music, because if it wasn't for music, we would have never met.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been hired for
Right?
Melton's music
That's
to be
right.
skateboarding.
You would have never saved a day.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I needed you to do that.
yeah, yeah.
So I love that. Okay, so when you're a kid, these are your dreams. Now, as an adult, you've made a lot of the dreams come true just
For
by
sure.
producing music. You
Yeah.
have produced your own music, which is on all platforms, and we're going to showcase some of that on our show so that people can follow you and see the types of music that you do. You called yourself El Gato Negro,
Mm-hmm.
which is the black cat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have a black cat.
Hey.
Not this one, the one at home. It was a joke. You don't know. He doesn't know, people. But anyway, getting to the black cat, how did you come up with this?
Man, well, I think I have a certain like a gift that I can speak. I'm like the cat whisperer. I love cats. I have 3 cats of my own, and I started noticing that around the time that we met, I started noticing that a lot of my habits and the way that I am kind of coincided with the way that a cat is. You know what I mean?
Oh, a pain reliever?
Or scratching the floor.
No, I love my cat.
Yeah,
Like cats are known to absorb any negative energy, right?
for sure.
And they are so like positive and like
Mhm.
put together. Actually, I have had my cat for 8 years, and
Oh,
she is
wow.
black. That the other joke was not real. Mine's not like that. Like,
You got a senior citizen cat, man. Shout out to that kitty cat.
you can go.
Yeah.
Anyway, I regress, whatever. Not progress, regress with my cat. So, but why was it important for you to call yourself a black cat? Why not like a zebra looking cat or?
Well, I think that the stereotypical thing in movies and cartoons and stuff is like around Halloween, or like, in a horror movie or something, you see like a black cat, like, stalking, running along the fence and at night. And I think that that's kind of how I was. I think that my late nights, my staying up all night, and, kind of being more to myself, I'm the most extroverted introvert that you've ever met. I love, talking to people. I love being here with you, right? But at the end of the day, I'm kind of like, all right, leave me alone. Like I must be by myself, and I even did that on set,
You did?
Yeah, I'd be like, okay, guys, get up out of here right now. I need to laser in. I need to focus. Like, and if there's too many people in my space, I'm like, man, I'm still able to operate. I'm still able to perform, but I'm at my peak when it's just me and my energy. I have an energy bubble, that it can't be disturbed at certain points. And so I think that really coincided with the behaviors of cats. Obviously, if you have a cat, them fuckers be up in the middle of the night.
They're not like freaking dogs. I can
Nah,
tell you that. Like,
yeah.
like dogs, you gotta take care of them. You gotta do way too much. Like a cat knows what it wants.
For sure.
And even if the cat wants attention, that's when they come to you. If not,
Exactly.
you know what they're doing? Whatever the hell cats do.
Doing their own thing. And see, that kind of sums up my personality all right there. I think that I'm very self-sufficient, very independent. I've never been a clingy person when it comes to relationships. And so I admire those qualities in cats as well, because, a dog, you're like, damn, man. Like, can I get
so
up?
Needy, right?
Yeah. Like, damn, can I get up and go to the bathroom without you being like, oh, what's up? What's up? Like, you know what I mean? And not, I love dogs too. Don't get me wrong, but I admire those qualities about cats. Like when they're ready to have their time with you, they'll let you know. And I'm kind of the same way. I'm like, all right, I'm available to be interacted with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like that. Now I want to talk about your tattoos because I don't know why, but today is like tattoo day.
Oh yeah.
I feel like you guys have really cool tattoos. I only have 2 tattoos. But like now I want some explanation. What is this LSP? What is that? Or LSD?
It's LSD.
Oh, LSD. Okay, talk to me about this.
All right. To keep it kind of short, simple, and sweet. In my younger days, there was a lot of. I was very spiritual, and I think one thing that went hand in hand with the spirituality was, psychedelic experimentation, right? And so I had a breakthrough whilst on LSD, and I honestly I credit a lot of the insights that I had for the person that I am today. As crazy as that may seem, like seriously, I think that these substances, I think they get kind of a bad rap just from the war on drugs and the propaganda that we've been fed all through the Reagan administration all the way up until the present day. But I think that in the right circumstances and not abused, I think that these circumstances can be used properly and help people. I know that out in California, they're doing therapy now with mushroom therapy, and they're doing
I looked into this.
yeah.
Now that you mention it, I actually looked into this because there's a very negative vibe about drugs.
For sure.
However, all the drugs that are sold at CVS pharmacies and everywhere else are drugs.
Yeah, very much so.
But people think that if it's prescribed, it's okay. But if you like pop in a mushroom, it's bad.
They have a disconnect, and like I said, this is all propaganda. This is all stuff that has been fed over the years, and it's became so ingrained in the culture that a lot of people are unfortunately not open-minded enough to be like, wait a minute, like let me investigate this for myself. Let me have a deeper understanding on what this stuff is. And it's crazy, you look at some of these antidepressants and stuff, and man, these antidepressants have terrible side effects for some people. I see
I know.
videos.
So okay, I'm gonna open up a little bit about that. So
Absolutely.
I was prescribed those when I had my first child because I
Hmm.
was having like what do they call it, like
Postpartum.
postpartum depression.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, you need these pills, right? And I thought, yeah, that's fine. When they read what could happen, I thought to myself, well, I might as well myself. Like this is
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
sad, right? Oh, anyway. That's not the point. The point
Right.
was, and then I did take a few of them, but then
Mm.
my sex drive completely went away.
Yep.
What's life without sex?
Terrible. Bland.
Right?
Vanilla.
Like, what would you do then?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
For
then I
sure.
was like, well, so I stopped taking them and I thought, my life is fine. As long as I have sex, it's going to be fine. And I've been happy ever since.
Well, there you go. I mean, and sometimes these drugs that they prescribe, they can give people heart issues. They can, when people stop,
That's
they
right.
have even worse depression.
That's right.
Sometimes, it causes people to have urinary issues. They can't go to the bathroom and stuff. So, yeah, I think that the idea of microdosing psychedelic compounds, and especially like the mushrooms and stuff, I think is an interesting avenue, and I feel it coming soon. I think that the FDA will kind of ease up on that soon, and maybe we can get a little bit more research done.
I think it would be very important. Like I'm actually big into people who use marijuana, let's just say.
Yeah.
I'm big into like let them if they need it. I've seen people get healed. Like
Yeah.
if they have
Yeah.
seizures and stuff like that, I've seen them get healed just through the usage of the oil, just the oil coming. So if people did more research and understanding, they wouldn't be so afraid of it. I mean,
Yeah.
you said you had I've never used this LSD.
Yeah.
And I don't know enough about it. But what did it do for you? What is it?
Well, lysergic acid dithylamide is
Okay.
a compound. It was found by a scientist around the 1930s, and originally this compound, it was extracted from ergot, that is a mold that grows on rye bread. So this scientist extracted this compound, and originally it was supposed to be used in World War II for like, mind control or something, right? And pretty soon they found out that you can't mind control somebody on these substances, so they quickly abandoned it. But there was still some lying around, and eventually it started working its way by the late 50s, early 60s, started working its way into the general population. And that's what brought on the hippie revolution, of the 60s. Is
Ah,
it strongly suggested that LSD had a big hand in helping the liberation women's movement and everything, kind of come to fruition. Because what the substance does, in my opinion, is I think it takes down all of the filters that you build up throughout life. Throughout life, you're conditioned a certain way, whether that's nurturing from your parents, or whether that's societal nurturing, or even certain things that we put on ourselves, certain pressures and overthinking and stuff. You build up kind of these filters, and I think that this substance removes all these filters and kind of gives you like more
no
clarity.
filter, people.
There you go. There you go.
Eh.
Pun
Wait a
intended
minute.
now.
I'm not about to take LSD right now. They're like, wait, so she gonna do it? No, I don't.
Hey,
Actually, I'm not afraid to try it.
yeah.
I don't want to talk good or bad about it. That's why I'm asking you, because if you don't know, you don't know. In your experience, I mean, is it as bad as people say it
Oh,
is?
hell no, hell no. It's for me, it's wonderful. One of the things that is said by a lot of shamans, because a lot of psychedelic medicine is used down in Mexico, as well as down in South America, right? And one of the things that the shamans always say is they say set and setting, and what that means is, like right now in this setting, I feel comfortable. I'm comfortable with you. I know you. I know everybody behind the cameras, right? I feel comfortable. I'm not vulnerable, right?
Right.
So this is a good setting, right? Then mind setting is kind of like if I came in here and let's say that my cat just died and I was already in a bad mood, or some asshole in traffic just cut me off and I'm just mad for some reason, right? Probably wouldn't be great to take this substance, because what it's going to do is it's going to amplify that off
Oh,
rip.
okay,
And the
okay.
same thing can even happen with marijuana sometimes too, but not to a much
Well, with
lesser.
marijuana, I have more experience because there's quite a few friends of mine that it's like more of a usual. It's a plant.
It's
So
more
it's more
commonplace, yeah,
common.
for
So
sure.
people like, but they do get paranoia.
Right,
Most of them get
and
that.
that's what I mean is sometimes even as little as marijuana is, even sometimes on a high enough dose, that can even have the same effect of amplifying whatever emotion you're currently
Ah,
experiencing. So once again, I feel fine today. I'm in a great mood. I'm having a great conversation. So it's like if I were to take this compound right now, I would be I'd feel pretty safe to say that it would be a great
experience.
experience. You know what I mean?
So it affects you in a spiritual level or energetic level, or
I would say both.
also it's all around.
All around. So as far as the spiritual aspect of it, I think that comes from once again just that clarity of taking down those filters. I feel as though you become hyper aware to things that are around us every single day that we just become numb to. Like for example, me and you are actually vibing right now. Like
That's right. That's
it's
right.
not just a it's
We
not
have
just a
connected.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not just a saying. It's
That's
like
right.
it's a real thing that you can feel, and some people are more in tune, and some people are less in tune to that. And I think that when you're on this compound, you can hyper feel it, right? So that's kind of where the spiritual aspect comes from, because you might not be around anybody and you start to feel vibe and you're like, whoa, this couldn't be anything else but the divine, the universe,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Or
people don't believe, like, once you're connected, and while you do meditation and you stay connected, you feel.
yes,
You
yes,
just feel everything, right?
yes, yes, of course, of course.
So you agree, because like I've been having this conversation even with the gentleman behind the camera. I tell them, I'm like, it's just certain people, when I connect to their energy, I'm left like devastated. It's a
Yeah,
very it just sucks my soul, you could say. Like
like
I
energy vampires.
I feel horrible, very
Yeah,
negative. On the other hand, when I hang out with people like you, where we connect and the energy kind of goes into a flow,
yeah,
I call it like a flow.
yeah, yeah.
It just feels so good. It's so right. It doesn't, like, time stops and everything is fine kind of feeling.
Yes, I totally agree with that. Yeah, and on the note of the quote unquote energy vampires, yeah, these are people that are probably turned off to that, you know, and
Disconnected.
yeah, disconnected from that, and they are driven by emotion, and usually it's past trauma, right? And a lot of people harbor this stuff like baggage, and they're so unaware, right, of whatever may have caused it in the first place, that unconsciously it causes them to act and give off certain vibrations and certain frequencies. They could be having a decent conversation with you. Oh yeah, Daisy.
But then I feel them, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh God.
Like, Daisy, oh man, this is such a good night, and you're thinking to yourself, man, you walk away from the conversation like, wow, there's
I just want to have, yeah.
yeah, something off about that, and that's really what it is. And yeah, I have a firm belief to a certain extent that that's what causes narcissistic tendencies, not what causes a narcissist, because that's a whole different conversation, but narcissistic tendencies, because a lot of times being driven by emotion, and just purely emotion, and not like logic, and not like other human interaction, a lot of times that leads to negative self-serving actions, and you'll see that with like a lot, especially in the business that we're in, the
I know
entertainment
entertainment
business.
industry. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's why you'll have people that are so quick to screw people over, and so quick to do this and do that, is because they're driven off of emotion of, well, this is what I want, and I'm whatever.
And they don't care.
They don't give.
They
You know what I
really
mean?
don't. And you can say it like it is, because
Yeah.
we both know that's exactly what happens.
Yep. Yep.
We both have undergone the suffering of people who don't care.
Yeah.
Right?
The wrath.
You call it a wrath. Yeah, it is a wrath. Like we suffered, so we understand that in a lot of opportunities that you give to people, they don't want the opportunity. They want to run you over and destroy yours.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Hell yeah.
Okay, let's move on to another tattoo. So what is this one?
This is a bad tattoo for one, but it's Cell from Dragon Ball Z. And this is like a very, very, very bad guy. He's a villain. Now, I don't like this character because of the villainy. I like this character because of the confidence. If you watch the show, which I'm not like a huge anime guy, I'm not like this nerdy, anime guy, but everybody likes Dragon Ball Z, at least from the people I've grown up with. Everybody,
yeah. Even my kids still love it.
There you go. It's timeless.
My kids travel to New York to hunt for these things on the phone.
It's timeless. It's just like Pokemon. It's just it's ubiquitous with the culture. You know what I mean? So this character Cell in Dragon Ball Z,
okay,
he has this stoic nature about himself, and this unwavering confidence. And I think that I saw a lot of myself in that. Of course, I use my stoicness and confidence for good. You know what I mean? Not cartoony villainy, but
so you're not a bad guy.
I'm not a bad guy. Well, I mean, I don't know. It depends on who you ask, I guess.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean?
That's right. It might be like a very, very proper person would be like, "Oh, of course he's bad."
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Well, you don't know.
Yeah. Sorry.
He's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but this kind of attitude and way of holding himself, I think, is very admirable. So that's why I got him tattooed on me.
I think it's cool. And I found it fascinating because typically, in Mexican culture, it's not very acceptable to have so many tattoos.
Yeah.
But nowadays, things are changing. But you're from the US anyway, so you wouldn't be affected by that. But in growing up, was it acceptable 100%? Your mom was like, yeah, it's fine, or?
Oh yeah, I have a funny story. I'll try to make this story as quick as possible. Though I knew that I wanted a lot of tattoos from very young, probably like 6 years old.
What?
My yeah, and literally some of the tattoos I've had the idea since 6. Seriously,
what?
Yeah. So I'll explain this. My grandma bought a huge pack of the press-on tattoos, and she was like, "Which one do you want?" And there was probably like 20 or 25 in there, and I told her, I said, I want them all. I like them all. So she was like, okay. So she helped me put them all over my body. And I went and I looked in the mirror and I'm like, wow, this is badass. I like that. Yeah, seriously, when I was 6. So I was like, man, this is cool as hell. So from that age, I was like, I want a lot of tattoos. So later on, when I was 16, 15 or 16, I was working at the time and I got my money up, and there was a guy who he worked at a tattoo shop, but he was our friend in the neighborhood. So I went to his house and I gave him some money and I said, "Hey man, I got my first tattoo, a big tattoo across my chest." So I came home and I ran into my mother, and I couldn't put a shirt on because the tattoo's freshly healing. So there was no way I could hide it. So I walk in and my mother looks at me and she's like, shakes her head and she's like, "I knew you would do it. I wasn't ready for this day, but I knew you would do it."
And how old were you then?
I was probably 15. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So 15 years old, you already
I
had
had
the
a
whole
giant
chest?
yeah.
And how did you even decide what to put?
Well, once again, I mean, from around the age of 6, there was one word. I have magnificent across my chest. And there was one word that I thought kind of trumped all words when it came to grandiose, and larger than life, and it was magnificent. I mean, it just rolls off the
And
tongue.
this was your first tattoo.
Yeah. So
So you're very gifted,
some would say, I
right?
suppose,
Yeah, you have to be very gifted because I have a 11 years old since yesterday. But he, even when he was like 3 to 4 years old, like he always has known what he likes and what he wants.
Yeah.
Very gifted. Like he just has a knowing about it. It's like a certain energy that he holds, and it seems like you have the same thing. Because to be that confident, to be so young, and just be like, hey, and then at 15, you're just like, across.
Well, you know what? I think that's because I was primarily raised by my mother, like I stated earlier, and the only thing that she did was she built me up my whole entire life, and not in an unrealistic way. It was very realistic of letting me know that I have this value. I'm a valuable person. And, teaching me one of her most valuable things that she taught me really was interacting with people. And, that's been my biggest thing that set me apart from a lot of, my other peers is I'm able to interact with people very well. And I'm able to get to know people very well. And it doesn't matter where they come from. They could come from the barrio. They could come from, they could come from the trailer park, or they could come from the mansion. They could come from the private school. They could come from South America. They can come from Africa, Europe. I'm able to have some kind of baseline connection with almost everybody I meet, even if eventually it doesn't work out and I'm like, screw you. You know what I'm saying?
I know that very well too.
Oh,
I know how to
absolutely.
block, delete, and close the door.
There you go.
But when I open the door, I'm always accepting, which
Yeah.
is the first part. I love what you said about your mom because I've met your mom, right? So
Yeah.
she, in like what I gathered out of her encounter with me is, one, she supports you big
Yeah.
time. Like she
Yeah.
believes in you, she supports you, but also the kindness. Like she's a very kind hearted person, and always, in my opinion, just from what I witnessed, because I didn't get to know her that much,
Yeah.
but she guided you with kindness,
For sure. For
right?
sure. Compassion, I would say. That's yeah, and I think that that's one of the biggest virtues that you can instill in somebody, I don't have children, but I believe at some point I may. I mean, who knows? But I think that that's one of the main things that I want to harbor on and install too is just compassion. I never really was the school bully or anything. I was fighting bullies. Like seriously, and
Right.
because I just injustice to people who were defenseless. I mean, that was always wrong in my book, and I wouldn't say that I'm like this do-gooder guy because at the same time I could
Oh
be
no,
like,
to me you're a
you know what I
superhero.
mean?
I'm gonna buy you a red cape next time. Just
Ooh,
put it on there. Because
I can make a red cape look good
yeah,
now.
yeah. Oh, we could take a photo shoot and then you get
There you
naked,
go.
but tell your girlfriend that it's okay because it's just for the show. And then, oh yeah, because I haven't asked you much about sex, and I like to touch on all these different things. We
Yeah.
talked about spirituality. Do you practice a religion?
No. Just to
No.
put it bluntly, no, I don't. But I'm very spiritual, and I know that there's things that we will never understand. There's forces that we are governed by that we will not understand. And I believe that every single religion, to a certain extent, is all speaking on the same thing. They just have different labels for it. And I think that is the best way that, everybody should kind of look at it. I think it would cause less division in the world if people understood that, hey, man, we're all talking about the same thing. And at the end of the day, I think that they all, going back to virtues, they all stand on good principles and good virtues. So, but yeah, for me personally, no religion, no denomination. I could say that
Do you practice meditation?
absolutely.
You do,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I thought I heard you say before. And so you don't call it prayer, you call it meditation.
Yes.
Do you
Yeah.
do guided meditation or?
No, no.
Okay, so you just simply close in and allow
Yeah,
your energy to. Okay, cool. I do guided because my brain
which
is
is great.
going all over the
Yeah,
place, so
yeah.
it's like I need the guidance to get in there. But once I'm in there, I love it. Okay, so now we have very little time left, and I want to make sure I get to it. I still want to know. Okay, so your father is African American from where?
Hmm.
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Yeah.
Okay, is it true that, well, since you're black and white,
Mm.
I just want to know sexually,
Yeah.
are you? Would you consider yourself like way up there, and you're like one of the freaky ones, or what?
Um,
Tell me.
I wouldn't say freaky. I would say intimate, passionate.
Passionate.
Yeah.
Okay. What about? Well, I call it freaky, like when you're into a lot of different things, not just regular sex with your girlfriend.
Yeah. I put it simply like this. Um, I would prefer and strongly against anything going inside me, but you know what I mean? Everything else to a certain extent is fair play.
So you're open minded.
Hell yeah. Hell
Okay,
yeah.
I don't know. I just want people to know, like, what happens, because a lot of times I think people assume that when you're like in music and music production, you can't have a serious relationship. And you've been
Yeah.
with your girlfriend how many years?
Must be 4.5 now.
See, and I've
Yeah.
seen you guys happily together and everything.
Yep.
So you can do music, you can do your creative work, and there's a mutual understanding and respect. And you're comfortable as anything to be like, yeah, we do whatever.
Well, yeah, and I think that I've always been that type of person. You know, I've how can I say this? I mean, I've been connected to a lot of different females, but you know, once I find somebody who kind of understands me, then we lock in. You know, I'm not the type of person who's just like, you know, bopping all over the place because there's no substance there. You know what I mean? I think that it can be cool every now and again. You know, if you are single and you're playing the fields, cool every now and again. But at the end of the day, you know, you want that real shit. You know what I mean?
I like the fact that you called it a connection, because I very much believe in that. And that's the reason why when I'm in a relationship, I'm connected to that person and I stick to that, because when you connect sexually with a person, you are transferring energy.
Yeah,
And
very
it's
much so.
right. And isn't it crazy that if you connect with the wrong person, things are just very
I've
right?
seen it, man. I've
So
seen
you've
it.
also okay.
Males and females, man. I've seen it, man. It can be life ruining, you know, for some people. It's scary. It's scary for sure. So yeah, that's why, you know, I'm not the type of person that, you know, I have more than the ability to have a one night stand. You know, I don't have issues to talking to women, you know, but I'm not that type of person. I need to understand who I am dealing with before we even get there, you know.
Right?
And some people don't like that, and that's fine. I guess I'm not for you. You know what I mean?
Because I completely agree. Like one night stands. I mean, and I'm already like 40 years old. I only did it one time, and I learned the
Yeah,
hard way. That's not the way to go,
yeah,
because you don't even know what you are mixing in your
yeah.
energy, and it could take months. It could take even a year to like fully release that awful whatever experience or energy.
Carrying that
So it's
juju.
very important, right?
Yeah,
Some people do carry that
for
juju,
real, for
and
real.
then you're like over there, like trying to like, oh, clear,
Well, I
clear. What
mean, it
have I
goes
done?
back to that energy conversation we were having shortly. You know, I think that man, you can get entangled with some rough stuff, and you're adding an extra layer of inviting that energy once you get sexually active with an energy like that. You know what I mean?
That I completely agree. I'm glad we had this conversation because that's what I try to get out of people, like understanding. Because when you're sharing with the world or you're sharing with people, that's what you want to get something, some different perspective on an issue that
Yeah,
could possibly help. I think sex should not be taboo. I'm very much into like rediscovering myself every time, because as time passes, you learn different things. And I know you don't like the whole strap on idea, but you know,
Nah.
I have found It's a very cool thing. But anyway,
Hey.
I'm not gonna push my own thoughts into whatever.
Hey, look, at the end of the day, whatever floats anybody's boat is good in my hood. That's how I feel. You know what I mean?
I like it. And I like the fact that you ended up getting all the tattoos that you want to do. Thank you for coming out today.
You're very
I
welcome.
love the fact that you are still doing your art and being creative and keep on pushing through. May your TikTok keep on kicking butt.
Hell yeah. We're going for 10,000. Let's get 10,000 in the next month.
Yes.
Q Jones for president.
Q Jones for president of China, man.
Yeah, there you go. CCP, baby.
But I love it. And we're going to showcase your music. Where can people follow you?
You can follow me on TikTok at The Real Q Jones, all one word. You can follow me on Instagram at The Real Q Jones, all one word. You can follow me on X at The Real Q Jones, all one word.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming out. Thank you for this cool interview. It's different, and I like that. That's what I want to bring, the No Filter shows. Each one, I want them to have different perspectives, different people doing different careers, and I love that your career is taking off in the entertainment industry. And in this movie, we showcase all of your music, and I really wish us well with it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Q Jones.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Alrighty.
I thank God for Q Jones cause he laced it. In too deep, can't stop now, no. Everybody turn when we pull up to the show. A lot of people think I'm weird, I just like being alone. Laser vision, my career, had to get up in my zone. Yeah, I need a bust down, need another touchdown. Not that I be dead, but I'm here, I guess I lucked out. Hand in the air if you feeling like you up now. What's up, let's take it to the top now. I made the new version of pop. Q Jones, I be battling my thoughts. Do a whole lot, but it seems it's not enough. Wear my heart up on my sleeve, I'm just trying to show some love. Slowly seeing better days, no more living in my trunk. I was locked up, cooking noodles on the bunk. I make music for my sanity, this is not for fun. I be making mama proud when the crowd going dumb. Swear I make shit look easy, but this shit right here took years, best believe it. Can't paint the narrative, cause I'm way too positive. I be loyal to my morals, cause that's just the way I live. I'm a character, I know, yeah, look up in my fro, yeah. SSX, where I'm cold like the snow, yeah. Used to buy my coke from Frothy to Snowman. I don't need no bad habits, had to let it go, yeah.